Welcome to Weirdos at Home, everybody. Hello.
Here we are. This is the heart and soul of the Weirdos at Home, Tara Brown. I'm still holding out that the Lakers will sign me for next season after the way the playoffs went. My name is Sam Slade. And tonight we have, I don't say this lightly, knowing how little I went to school and attended school, my favorite teacher of all time that I ever had. My favorite teacher of all time, by far. This guy, he's been teaching at Second City since 2005. He was main stage. His name is Kevin Reome, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Yes. Did you say I was on the main stage? I was never on the main stage.
Okay, let's go back to one. We'll just go back to one. Is that guys? Dude, it's so fun to have you on, man. We're excited. It's summertime. You just had two daughters graduated from high school. Is that correct? Or am I wrong about that too?
Yeah, they're twins. They just graduated, and it wasn't perfect, with prom and everything. But man, we are grateful because 2020, the class of 2020. Got screwed. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a prom. They had nothing. They had get out of here and have a nice life, and then they have to go to school at a university as a freshman, and then they're like, you've got one of two choices: stay at home with your parents and do it over Zoom, or come to the dorms and we're going to lock you in like a prisoner and deliver you meals and you can't leave.
Oh my God. Those are the two options. You can't go eat at mess hall or whatever, the cafeteria, whatever you call it now.
No, you pick it up. You might, so, in a great situation, you go and get it and then take it back to your room. So I just heard, a friend of mine just told me today that she had heard of like some school, some dorm, one floor, I think it's like Boston U, where everybody screwed up. They all got together, right? They all got together, and the university said, guess what? All y'all are out, except for who didn't go to this little get together. And so those two people are the only two people left on the floor in their own separate rooms. So and the friend of mine who I was talking to is a therapist. So she's like, yeah, I'm busy. And I'm especially seeing high school and college students because they have been put through the ringer.
That's insane to think you don't even get to, like, so the Belushi Animal House cafeteria scene is absolutely impossible at this point in history.
Right. You can't do that.
They just hand you your stuff and they're like, yo, here's your meal. It's like the Stanford prison experiment is what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we are grateful that they did get to do kind of a lame prom, but whatever. They had some.
Was it in person at all?
It was in person, but it was like in shifts.
Oh my God.
So it's like, and so my two girls were in different shifts. So one went,
but they're the same age. They're twins. They're in the same grade.
Well, yeah, but it's the senior prom, so the senior class gets split around.
Oh my God.
And so like one goes from like 5 to 7:30, and the other one goes like 8 or something. And so the one who went at 5 is like, I'm like, was there dancing? She's like, no. It was still light out. Like, it was just terrible. But you know what? They enjoyed getting dressed up and going out and being there and then hanging out after. And so, again, class 2020 just got screwed. Just get out.
The title of their inspirational, message theme of the stuff at the end was class of 2020. What are you going to do? Oh, man, dude, like when you were in high school, or even when you were at Western Michigan, were you like an off-campus? You always struck me, as long as I've known you, as like, man, he was fucking Ferris Bueller when he was young.
God, man, I don't know. I mean, you know what? I will say there was, I do have a measure for this where, like, there's so many things in life that you do that once you're into it, maybe it's a new job or you move, or maybe you're even dating somebody. And like within the first week or two, you go, this is a mistake. This is wrong. I need a plan B. I can't date her. This is not it. Right. And then you stick it through. So I had that moment when I went to Western Michigan. I remember going, and I went there halfway through the year. So it's like the winter term. There was already a semester that everyone had gotten into their cliques and met everyone, and I'm just alone.
Yeah.
And I'm cleaning out this disgusting refrigerator, right? I mean, night one, my parents go, see ya, have a nice
Oh my God.
and then I'm just there spraying, Formula 405 on the mini fridge, and I'm cleaning it out. And I remember, how you just have different voices in your head. One is going like, dude, this is terrible. You got to get out of here. There's got to be a plan B. Go back home, go to community college. Screw this. This is wrong. And the other one's going, it can only get better, dude. Stick it out. In fact, remember this moment because it's going to be better. And I want you to think back to this horrible time. And I want you to, it'll be a direct measure. So then it's like maybe 2 years later, and I went to like this campus bar at Western called Waldo's. Just awesome. Like if you haven't gotten hammered and thrown up in the bushes at Waldo, you didn't really.
Were you even in town ever?
Right. Did you even step foot on campus? But it was so what I realized, I went to Waldo's one time, 2 years after that moment, alone. I knew I could go to the bar alone because I knew that there would be people there I could hang out with. Not that I knew they were going to be there, because God knows we didn't have cell phones and internet. I just show up and roll the dice a little bit, but confidently, right. Hello, Mabel. But I go straight there and I'm high-fiving people as I walk in.
Oh my God.
I go, hey, remember the refrigerator? Remember?
Yeah.
You win. This is the win. So yeah, I guess that is a mark of arriving for oneself. I don't know if I was known on campus as they're not doing it.
Well, let's be real. You don't get high fives from everybody when you walk in if you're not known on campus. You know what I mean? Like, I know you showed up like Tori Spelling showed up in Saved by the Bell, where they're like, why do we need this? We already have our fucking groups. But once you got there, by the end of it, you're like Teen Wolf, just.
Yeah. So and maybe similarly, anything that turned out well was horrible in the beginning for me. Like just moving to Chicago was like 2 weeks in, I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. This ain't right. I don't know anyone. I remember saying to myself, I don't have a friend within a 200-mile radius of here right now. But honestly, and I also think of things as building blocks, stepping stones. When I was in Chicago, I'm like, remember the refrigerator? This is the refrigerator. Get, 2 years from now, look back at this, because this kind of sucks. And then 2 years later, I'm doing a show weekly at IO, and I've got a group of friends. I feel like I'm enmeshed in a community. God, it's getting dark out here. Is there an eclipse? Like I just looked like.
I saw a lot of birds flying around. There might be something that they know that you don't know yet.
I'm gonna illuminate.
Oh, this is great. This is the first guest ever who on location has given us the live walk.
Like MTV.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Look,
there you go.
we're in a car lot.
There you go. I love it. Well, look,
Come
you see
on down.
look, he's got the grill set up, the grotto back there. I mean, he's
I'm
doing it
just
right.
jealous he's outside. If we were to sit outside right now in Austin, I mean, we would just melt on this camera. Right
She'd end up looking like Beyonce, and I'd end up looking like Richie Cunningham. That's how tan I would get.
Richie Cunningham. Yeah. No, you know, I don't know why you're not out there looking at the bats.
You know, it's funny. We're the only place with we were talking about this last night. Only place with a massive bat population in the world that didn't have a. Well, no, we did have a lot of COVID, but nobody ever thought it was the bats. We were like, no, the college kids are making out. It's not the bats.
It's been a rough year for the bats. Not a good
Right.
PR year for them.
Right. Or bats. Yeah. People are like, no, I'm not going to go to that bridge today. No.
I'm so good on that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about something. You've got kids. He's taken his family. Kevin to me is a model of how to do modern Clark Griswold. He's taken his family all around the world. He has gone. I mean, he's seen the sights. He's seen it all, and he busts out that move on all the landmarks, and he kind of started the trend. He's the Tebow of the Leaning Tower move.
Right. But it's the push fail. You can't do it right.
Right. That's the job. That's the punch. Like, you do it the opposite direction.
So if the clematis here, that's what that is. If that is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I'm like this.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere though. Epcot Center, like Yankee Stadium. I mean, it doesn't matter.
He showed me these photos and we were laughing, and then I screamed because when y'all were in front of the Leaning Tower, people y'all are just standing there.
Right, because that's the last joke. Is once he's there, he's like,
I screamed.
Right.
It's so funny.
Right. Yeah. I think I've done it to Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, Big Ben.
oh my God.
Yeah, definitely did Big Ben. Hell yeah. The St. Louis Arch. Edgar Allan Poe's grave in Baltimore. Yeah.
It's the darkest thing that ever happened around Edgar Allan Poe, by the way. Well, the reason I'm bringing up all of your worldly wisdom and your travels, if you will, is because you went to Japan to teach improvisation on behalf of the Second City delegation, the envoy from Second City.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That was insane. It was just so eye-opening, you know, as I'm walking day one in Tokyo, and I've got my guy, he's the liaison and my guide and my everything. His name is Araki, really great guy, my translator. But then I'm also with Masi Oka. Masi Oka is he was on Heroes, he was on I-50, and he was the reason this whole thing happened. This venture between Yoshimoto, this big media corporation in Japan. I know I didn't make that up. I actually nailed it. And Second City, because he was like, oh, you know, the humor in the comedy in Japan is just so slapsticky lame that I would like to help bring some American sensibilities to Japan and see if we can, you know, move the needle a little bit. So that was his idea. But so day one, Masi and Araki are walking, and I'm trailing like 20 feet behind them, and you know, and they keep looking back. I'm like, what are you doing? Come on! And I'm like, can I explain something to you? Every time we turn a corner, I'm seeing stuff I've never seen before. I can't even close my mouth because I believe what I'm seeing, where I'm on Mars in the best, coolest way. And then cut to 2 weeks later, where now we took the bullet train to Osaka. Yeah, I did drop bullet train as a reference.
Yeah.
And then we go to Osaka, and I teach there for 2 weeks, and then this guy Andy comes from Second City, and he is going to do 2 weeks, but we overlap a little bit. So day one, we're walking around Osaka, and I'm trying to talk to him. He doesn't hear a word I'm saying because he's like,
Right. Oh,
and I was,
I can imagine.
oh, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna not bother you and let you just take this in because I know your brain is on fire right now. It's just too weird and too cool. So yeah, I mean, maybe that tells you what a Midwestern rube I am, but yeah, going there was just absolutely great. And I still feel like in Chicago, there's the two voices. One is saying like, stop looking up at the buildings like a tourist. And then the other one is like, hey man, never stop acting like you're a tourist. Always appreciate this, damn it.
That's so, when you're telling the story about Japan, I'm saying I can't even imagine because, even me from Little Austin, Texas, going to Chicago, not knowing a friend, like when Kevin moved there, where you go like, you like, my God, I'm in Gotham City. You're like, oh, we're here. Like, this is Metropolis. This is all of it. Fuck New York City. Look at this shit. And I can't imagine being in Tokyo. That'd be insane.
Oof.
I'd just be I can't, man, it's overwhelming to even think about. So he goes to Japan and he just teaches the world.
So the students, it's just a totally different experience. The students there, I mean, I busted out laughing, which was probably disrespectful, but like when I'm entering the room and I'm putting my little slippers on, because it's like a dance studio, but I gotta change into slippers. So I put on these slippers, I walk in there, and they are lined up in 2 rows, like military style. And when I walk in, they say this thing, and I'm going to say it phonetically. Like I don't know. I really don't even know what it is, but they'd bow and they say, "Andemas." And they wouldn't say it even in unison. They just do it when they do it. And I'd go, "Hey, what?" Everyone, like they don't understand a word I'm saying. It's everything had to go through a translator.
Wow.
But at one point I asked Iraqi, I'm like, what's my response to that? Do I say something? And he had to continually keep me in check for the hierarchy that is Japan. He goes, you don't say anything. I go, that seems kind of rude. He goes like, no. You're here. They're here. And I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I like people being equal and friends, and so despite him saying I don't say anything, they'd all go andemas, and I'd go.
There's 2 things. One, I was wondering if you ever responded.
Hold on.
I would go, and my response was namaste.
Yeah. You beat me.
No. Nobody liked it. Nobody laughed except me.
Hey, that's what matters. That's the code I lived by for the last 16 months during quarantine. Was I'm laughing. We're a step ahead.
Right.
Well, culturally, did they pick up the concept of improv, and how did that go?
In the 2 weeks that I had these classes, I had 4 different classes. I think they got a little of it. I think, but it's not on them.
Yeah.
They are at the Second City of Japan, this Yoshimoto, and it is a comedy training center, but it's kind of a bigger machine than Second City in that they when they're taking classes there, now the school is looking to pair up certain people. Like they see you 2 guys in this class and they say, that's the pair. They're going to be the next ones. And then
Kevin,
they do shows.
They're basically like their factory. They're turning the old like, hey, and then they became a comedy team, right? Like Belushi, Aykroyd, whatever. But they're like, no, you will be your team. Now we're doing arranged comedy teams, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, and they're pushing them. They're setting up venues and audiences and pushing this whole thing. But imagine in my class, you're there and I'm like, Sam, be funnier. That wasn't funny. And you're in the middle of the scene doing something. I'm like, stop that. Be funnier.
Whoa.
Like it's
Whoa.
that
Whoa.
comedy that I'm trying to undo all of that in 2 weeks. And
Oh my God.
so it's a little
Kevin, it's gung ho, but it's about saving improv.
it is gung ho.
I mean, I think about when I was in your class, we had a rowdy group of guys, John West, Joe Saviano, the funniest group of women. I would be doing a disservice to not nail it all. That's
so funny. We're not even gonna say their names. They're that funny.
one was a date to my brother's wedding. I just don't want to name one and not name the rest of them. I'm trying not to get canceled. The point was that Kevin Weir in his class was never like, be funnier. He was like, okay, hey, can you listen to what I'm saying and do the exercise? Let's just try that.
But also like, I mean, this gets into weirdo, touchy-feely, I'm teaching at Berkeley type of improv, where it's like, hey, it's everything you did was right. Everything was worth it. It all has meaning to you. It's out there, like where these people are like, that is not going to make us any money. Be funnier. So it's like when I'm trying to be nice and give them credit for everything, they are then going to be released back to these vicious, and there were even there were like these other guys that were like upperclassmen, and they would lord over them. So if I'm here and there are these other guys that are here, and so like we're playing freeze tag, and they are signaling. These guys are not playing, but they're over on the side, and they're signaling to the other people, like basically like, say freeze, go now, what are you doing? And I had to say, like, hey, Araki, can you tell those guys to either get out of here or cut the shit? Like let these guys
like these kids play, right?
And that was, maybe that was the only time that I asserted that hierarchy rule. It's like, oh, if I'm here and they're here, I'm gonna say like, we're this close, getting out of here. I'm throw you out on the street, dude.
Man, that's brutal.
But
it's
already
up for so many people to
it was hard.
Can you tell me about a Rom Zombie?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
No. What I love about it is what I want to offer as inspiration is that I didn't sit there saying I want to be I'm going to wait for something to inspire me and then I'm going to write a show. I did the opposite, where I just said, like, I'm going to write a show and it's going to be this. I just have to figure out how to get there now. Right. So like it's like you just set a goal and you get there. I know that sounds rudimentary, but I think as creatives, we a lot of times sit there and just go like, yeah, but I'm just nothing's hitting me right now. It's like, no, man, forge your way and get to what you want. So my goal was, oh man, in all candor, my goal, like I want to make a bigger name for myself. What am I doing? What am I doing here? I'm teaching in Second City. What's going to get noticed? And so I start brainstorming different ideas and then I'm like, oh, how about that Rahm Emanuel? He just got elected. He's popular. Back then he was popular like the first 4 months. And so I wrote on that, and then the zombie thing came, and I'm like, Rahm Zombie, which that did come out of the blue, because zombies were big right then. Walking Dead was just getting rolling, and World War Z with the book. What's that?
I said everybody was eating brains. Since we got dead cat with us,
Everyone's eating
brains.
oh. Right. So what was great about it is just being able to reach that goal, just by figuring it out, finding the way there. And by doing that, I'm pretty sure, I haven't met him yet, but if Rahm Emanuel were right there and I said like, hey, what's going on? I've always wanted to meet you. I'm Ram Zombie. He'd go like, oh yeah. I always wanted to see that show. He couldn't see the show because he was trying to get Obama reelected, and he was dealing with a school strike. So that was but a lot of his staff came, and then as a result, I got to meet a lot of news people in Chicago that are like now my friends. And I was doing a guest spot on this show called Windy City Live. And so I was doing an improv thing, and they asked me to do this, but the green room was the best because it was just all hanging out with different people. Like Ed Asner was there, and Mrs. C from Marion Ross
from Happy Days.
Happy Days. So the two of them were there, and at the end when I was getting a picture with the two of them, Ed Asner, he goes like, "Oh, did you meet Marion?" Yeah. She was. We were talking about my shoes. She complimented my shoes earlier, and he goes, "Those shoes? Looks like you got those at a thrift store." I'm like, oh my God, you are Lou Grant. Lou. So the full circle was when I talked to, I don't know if you know Richard Roper, but he's Roper.
I made a Richard Roper the other night. There was a heated conversation that took place at our home, and for some reason I invoked a Richard Roper metaphor. I was like, boy, he wouldn't be happy about this movie, I'll tell you what.
Right. So Roper was in the green room, and this is my full circle, is when I see him over later from the show. And I said, hey, how you doing? I teach at Second City. I've always wanted to meet you. I'm a big fan of your columns. And I went like, I don't know, Ram Zombie. He goes, oh yeah, I heard of that. I'm like, there we go. That was the goal I wanted. I just wanted somebody who I hadn't met yet to know me through my work. There you go.
Well, look, hang on. I gotta correct Kevin. I'm sorry. But it's not just someone he hadn't met knowing him. I'm not going to let that get downplayed. It was the man that inherited the rights to judge all movies from Siskel and Ebert. Like that's not nothing.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool.
I mean, like when somebody that doesn't know you recognizes you would be like the time I accosted Tim Meadows on Sedgwick Ave and grilled him about whether or not he had anything inspiring to tell me.
God. Yeah, go ahead. What do you got for me?
We got a lot of stuff. Here's something Tara wanted to get into. Tara's a big baseball nerd. Love of my life.
Yeah.
Baseball nerd. She wanted to hear about the time you went to Tiger's fantasy camp.
Yeah.
Look at Kevin. So Kevin just straight up dun, 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 dun.
It was awesome. But I have some unfinished business there. I need to go back. Just because I was a rookie. You don't know anything. I don't know what's going on, but now I do it again because like now I know what's up, and I want to do sprint training before I go this time, because at that time I thought I was in decent enough shape. But here's the thing I never did in any kind of workout is from a standstill, run as fast as I possibly can for 90 feet, as hard as I can. And then on my very first at bat, I hit a double because it's fat and baseball. Like my hit fly out at best. But it dropped because Porky couldn't get over to it. All right. Enough fat jokes. That's not nice. But
Kevin, I thought you were gonna say it your first at bat. You were like, zip. I'm kidding.
Right. So it's me going from first to second as hard as I can. In that very first at bat, I strained a groin.
Oh.
I just had never run like that. And it was the strain, not a tear. A tear is like a hole. I'd be screwed. But yeah, I'm in the trainer thing, getting like an ice pack on my junk.
You get
real MLB experience.
Right? You're getting the George Brett treatment at this point.
So was there a waiver, or did they have y'all stretch at all before you?
Right?
Yeah. They do. They do, but so you do all this stretching, and I did even extra because I work out. No, I know some stuff, but in all honesty, like I had a roommate at the hotel. This guy is probably 10 years older than me, in unbelievable shape, and he goes like, "Oh yeah, I've been doing sprint training for the last 6 months leading up to this," and I saw him out there, fast as hell. I mean, he was just great and older than me, and just I'm like, sprint training, what a dope. Why didn't I do that? So yeah, just a terrible funny story from it just hit me that I had that ice pack on the groin, like he just wraps it. It's just a big old pack there, and then he gives me this stuff, this cream, and he goes, "All right, put the rubber glove on." I'm like, "All right." He goes, "Put a little of this on your finger and now rub that on like the groin muscle." I'm like, got it. So I do it, but if you're not careful, the stuff that's rubbing, this icy hot, but it's not icy hot, it's like icy magma. It touched and I'm like, this is the worst pain I've ever endured in my life. It was unbelievable. Like I guess I should have understood that because I'm putting a glove on, that this stuff is pretty intense,
right?
And all measures possible to not touch any area that should not be touched. And I was in huge pain.
Kevin, how long did the camp go? It was like a week? Is it 2 weeks? Like
it was a week. We played 10 games during that. There's six teams, and they have like a league, and you play each other. And what's great is you're all in. You as part of the package, you get a home jersey with your name on it and the number of your choice, and then an away jersey with your same thing. And so you'd look at the schedule, and you check with your teammates to go like, "Oh, we're away today." So you're playing another team, so you just have to make sure you're wearing the aways while they're wearing the homes, so you can differentiate each other.
But then you got for all the theater kids who never played sports who are watching tonight.
So then I had, I'm out there with all my idols, like all the guys that I've been watching, and they're, they're coaching me. I'm out there with Alan Trammell at one point because I'm playing shortstop, and I'm at the position, and Trammell's just right over there, and we got out of the inning, and I trot back in, and I'm like, "Tram, I was just about like, where should my eye line be? Should it be on the pitcher as the ball goes in, or should it be on the batter the whole time?" And he's like, "Oh, always the batter, just the batter." I'm like, I am asking a question of one of the middle infielders in the history of the game.
Ever. Hey, Tram.
Right?
Hey, Tram. Let me just, was it more or a...
I'm playing stop right now, so maybe you can give me a couple pointers. And like, it was absolutely great.
That's so cool, man. I got to tell you, as a Rangers fan, this lady right here has mixed feelings about Pudge's World Series victory with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, we had a conversation about it because we were watching old videos the other day, and just he was my favorite, and I was.
She felt scorn after.
Yeah, and when he left and went to Detroit, I was just like, never again.
Right. But he did. So he went to the World Series. He didn't win one with Detroit. I think he won one with the Marlins, didn't he?
That's what it was. I'm sorry. You know, the thing is, while I have one on my head, you know, as a Cubs fan,
yeah,
we have at least one recently. So.
Did you hear? Did you hear? You know, we know that. Oh, now I can't think of the name.
Hey, it's okay. There's someone else I want to get to before we're running out of time.
Yeah.
We're gonna play. Hang on, we're gonna play a game later, and it's about it's gonna be a 5 questions game. But before we get to that, did you ever take your kids to amusement parks?
Oh yeah.
Y'all did the Disney thing and the you know, the whole deal.
I mean, I would drop them off at Six Flags. It's 20 minutes north.
There you go.
Off, like a soccer practice. You know, I'll pick you up in a little. Try not to get killed. You know?
Watch out for Foghorn Leghorn.
He's crabby.
Well, we were going through a list earlier of weird stuff about Disneyland if you're an employee, and I wanted to go through that with you and see what your thoughts are as somebody who's taken their children to all of those. And imagine it's a good memory now that you know you're releasing them into the wild. I don't know how to talk about people who have kids. Obviously, I want to apologize for that last statement.
Watching it all unfold, I'm like, okay.
Well, but one of the things is, did you know, Kevin, that if you're a character at Disneyland, if you're Peter Pan in tights and you start to have a stroke, no one is allowed to help you.
Wow. I did not.
We learned how deep into the illusion that this place is, and it's like cult-like. And we've spent most of the afternoon watching all these videos leading up to this interview, so it's fresh on our mind. But it's wild. It's the one that made me scream was that all the trash cans in the park are bolted to the ground, and it's not a trash can, it's like a vacuum chute, and all the trash is like running back and forth under your feet the whole time, and it's just dumped behind like Space Mountain. And no one's
the land behind. That's why there's like swarming at this area behind Space Mountain, because it's.
I could not believe it, and just the links you have to go to if you're in character, like. And if someone else is like, if a park visitor has a stroke and collapses, you can't help them.
That's the backside of that, Kevin, is that if you're playing again, I don't know why I continue to cast you as Peter Pan. Let's not get into that. But if you're there and it's and someone starts to have the stroke, not you, you can't help them either. You have to be like, oh, Tinkerbell.
Oh my God!
It's a dark place. We learned, and I cannot wait to go back.
What about? Is it code white for the ashes?
Oh my God! Yeah, they have different different codes, so they don't
upset people,
upset anybody. And there's code powder, which is
let them guess. Let them guess.
What do you think code powder would be?
Code powder. What is it? If somebody's doing coke, they're high as a kite.
You know what? You answered the Ferris Bueller question right there. Don't.
You would think, but no, it's getting security to stop someone spreading their loved one's ashes at Disney. They've snuck them in, and they're trying to spill them, on a ride or somewhere, and it's illegal apparently.
I've known Haunted Mansion as being like the top place. The top place for dumping ashes. I mean, I knew that like never the last time it was that I wrote it. I was like, oh, gross. breathing in corpse ash.
Oh my God. What I like to do is what I told my dad I would do for him when he passes away. He hated the teacups. And one time I got mad. I was like, that's it. Next time after that, you fade away, you go on or whatever. I'm just gonna throw your ashes at kids riding by all of the teacups.
Yeah, dark.
Powder.
But don't worry, everybody.
Which one you got?
They shut the ride down as it happens. Evacuate everyone away.
Oh wait, I forgot.
And then they send workers in like hazmat suits.
Like outbreak, Kevin.
They vacuum up your loved one in the tubes and it goes to the dump. So don't do it. Don't do it.
Wow. Wow. That is horrible. That's terrible. Yeah, that place is it's great in a way.
Look, I have to say, after a recent guest that we've all had on, who has worked for some shows on ABC, I don't know if Kevin's going to get the ABC deal after being on our show and talking and acting the least bit upset that they vacuum up your loved one's ashes with a hazmat suit to where people's children are like, my God, what is that?
Oh, that is fantastic.
He's like, Kevin's like, you're freezing. You're freezing. I
Just the last upsets down.
I
Last
love it.
thing on that, I need the world to know this.
Oh,
when Disney shuts down at night and everybody leaves and goes home, it is overrun by feral cats. Like just running wild to the point where there's like an in-house system to like monitor and keep track of them
during the day.
Oh, go to Disney World, everybody. Get back out there.
Are the cats part of the deal? Like they're out there to
they'd always lived there since like the Walt Disney days. Like there's always been feral cats just coming out of the Florida swamps or like downtown Anaheim.
Well, you think why they would be there? It's a place run by a mouse. Of course they're gonna try to be overrunning it. Come on.
right. Well, in Chicago, you can you can like rent feral cats your alleyway to take care of all the rats.
We
just learned
a news article about that down here, and I got so excited because I've never been to Chicago. Not that I'm going to be chasing feral cats around, but it got me pumped about Chicago because that vibe is so awesome. And we're going to go in August for my first time, so I'm so stoked.
Oh,
I hope to see one of these cats in the wild.
Well, I hope to see Kevin Reome while we're there. How about that?
yeah, I'll definitely take you around, but we're not going to waste too much time in the alley looking at that.
It's just respect. Remember how you felt in Japan. That's my wish.
Right. Who knows what's going to thrill you? I'll be open to all.
Well, I will tell you, it won't be me. Let's do this. What time is it? Let's do this game and see where it goes. You want to? All right. This is a special game that we're playing tonight. It's called the Kevin Reome Chicago Game.
Is there a theme song?
No, we don't have like production like that. We just do the Zoom meeting we posted. Okay, I'll do it here.
Froze.
Kevin Reome Chicago Game.
Froze in the middle of your song.
Okay, it's a game made up. You have to realize he has no idea what the rules are.
Hold on, he is
He's going right now.
reassessing his technology. We will get into
we
it.
lose
Looks like
Kevin?
he's coming back. I hear him.
Okay, here we are.
Hey.
There he is.
And I'm back. Okay, go ahead. I believe.
It's a 5-question game, blatantly stolen from the old 5 questions concept. First question: if you have to make one of these 2 ball players from Chicago, team-wise, the godfather of your children, do you say Frank Thomas or Sammy Sosa?
Frank Thomas.
That is correct. Yeah,
he's an actual good guy.
that's right. And when he abducts your kids, you don't have to worry about how to describe him when you have to make the report, like Sammy Sosa these days.
He's multicolored.
Second question. This is one that we got into with our recent Chicago guest Pat Finwith, and this is controversial around here. Air show or Taste of Chicago?
God.
Right?
Both are terrible. I'm going with air show because I don't know. I used to work the Taste of Chicago in a fajita booth. It was nasty.
Chicago fajitas.
It was no good, and but the air shows its own nightmare. If the Blue Angels aren't going, I mean I think you have an enormously horrible hot day, and then the Blue Angels come, and you go, I forgot all about that. It was so damn cool. So it becomes so worth it. The last time and I wasn't even there to see it. I was just doing something in the city, and as they're tearing off over me, I was legitimately scared, but like in the coolest, thrilling way. Like tore off over my, and I hit the deck, and I'm like, this is.
Isn't it shocking? They sent them over Austin, and I don't know if it was the Blue Angels or if it was like the Texas equivalent to the Blue.
No, it was Scarlet Knights.
And we looked at the flight path, and it turns out it was going to go right over this empty movie theater parking lot about a block away from our apartment. So we walked over there, and I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, it says any minute now. I just don't see her here. And then all of a sudden, it was like, and then they were gone. I was like, wow, we're dead. Like, we didn't even see it coming. You have no time. You're dead.
Right. There's a point at which you thought you died. And when it's over, you get to just feed off of all of that adrenaline. It's yeah. So I'd have to say there's no adrenaline equivalent at the Taste of Chicago.
Well, I know get this.
Love that answer.
The first time I ever took a class with Kevin at Second City, I walked out. And when I walked out, I was very new to Chicago. When I walked out, and walked the corner, got on my BlackBerry to text my dad.
Oh my God.
All of that is out of date, not anything anymore. And and I looked up, and the Red Baron plane is doing a spiral towards the ground. I'm like, oh my God, that's so fast.
Right.
I knew 9/11 wasn't the end of it. It's
still happening. The Red Baron. It's 1980 again.
When somebody call Snoopy. Okay, the next question. Best movie set in Chicago.
Man, oh boy.
Yeah, that's right.
I do like my Ferris, but I love the Untouchables because I love the era, and they used a bit of the cool parts of Chicago, and I don't know, as it's just romantic that way. In just like you go down some street and there's just all these brownstones, and you're like, it's been like this since Capone, was here, and it's just, I love that. I love that movie.
Oh man, that's a great fucking answer. That's a great answer. I would have
never remembered that was Chicago. Yeah.
Then the next two questions are going to get very controversial.
Sure.
Ranch or blue cheese?
I'm going blue cheese.
It's the correct answer. That is the correct answer. I have it on this. I'm not allowed to lift it up. I'll do too much prop jokes. Well, that was easy. We got that one out of the way. And she's a ranch supporter, so she's like, stop the steal. Go.
In my defense, I was born and raised in Texas. It's like a condiment of choice here. Like, they'll put it on the table and on your salad without even asking.
It's your blood type.
It is. We dip everything in it. It's disgusting. It's so good.
Well, way to blow it. There's obviously a sex tape of me floating around. It's just me and a thing of ranch dressing.
Okay.
No, that joke was. I have to apologize, Kevin, for making that joke. There's no. I have insulted myself and alerted man and my partner by making the joke about me and a sex tape and ranch dressing. And I just want to apologize if you're watching this before we do the last question of the Kevin Reome Chicago game.
No, I don't think it's floating around. I think everyone has it.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, when you come back, we'll discuss how everybody got it. I have to say, Italian beef or Chicago dog, and why?
Italian beef is awesome, and that I'm all in on that dog with one ingredient that just can't. It just wrecks it. Is that stupid relish? It's sweet.
Yes, yes, that's why he is my favorite teacher I've ever had. Taught me the way. No bullshit. Get the relish out of here.
Is it like the lime
Right.
green relish?
Yeah, it's the lime green relish.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Right. But what I've been to like a barbecue or like a grad party or something where they put out mini do-it-yourself Italian beef where there's like the tray of the meat in the juice, and you just use your giardiniera and you just do it yourself, and they're mini. They're mini, so I'm only gonna have 15. Like it's
Yes!
I will never leave the perimeter of the table. I will be so screwed. It's so good. It's crack. It's so good.
Well, can you give Tara a first of all, I have to say, as he's telling that story, in my mind, I'm like, if he doesn't go over 10 of these minis, I don't know why we wasted our time.
Go over what?
If you hadn't gone more than 10 mini sandwiches with the all you could eat part.
Oh, I know.
Funny after I explain it. Anyway,
yeah.
What give Tara a place that we can get. Where should she go to have the Italian beef sandwich?
I am not, there are, boy, there's many people greater than I that go out and like have dozens of these places and rank them. So I'm not very well versed, but I know that Al's is top notch. You can't go wrong with that. I don't think anyone who loves all of Italian beef, right. I don't think they'll ever have Al's. But I also like Portillo's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Portillo's is great, but I also wonder if like somebody really, really digs Italian beef, if Portillo's is like the McDonald's of hamburger, like I don't know. It seems like it's not a very deep dive because it's just a little bit easier to get. So I bet the Italian beef snob would go like, Portillo's, what are you, some kind of out of towner? Like, well, yes.
I am actually.
Yeah.
I am. I guess the follow-up to the Italian beef is, do you go half dip or full dip if you're going to do it?
Do I go half or what? Or full?
They dip it in the au jus. Do you go half or full? Because it's something Tara's been hyping up once we made the plan for the trip. And she's like, I'm going full dip. So I've literally been booking Chicago area connected guests to have them on just for this moment. Yeah. To say full dip or half dip.
Yeah, I have to go full. It's just the weirdest. The weirdest thing is, it flies in the face of sensibility, because who wants soggy bread unless it's Italian beef, unless it's that gravy soggy ass bread. Suddenly,
I'm so happy to hear you say that because I feel really strongly about it too.
Is that the advice you've been waiting for? I mean, do you feel like?
It is, yeah. So I'm so ready to get on this plane tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Full dip this sandwich.
Well, we're not going to hijack a plane. We're getting close to the end of the hour, but I just want to, Kevin, is there anything you can leave us that you learned, not at the pandemic, but just in the last couple of minutes about why you don't want to come back on this show?
No. I'm back tomorrow morning.
See you there.
I got Tara shaking me awake, be like, Kevin's ready.
Wait, well, because you know what, you can what is that type of eggs? Magas or something like that?
Oh, migas.
Migas. Yeah, I don't think that's common around here, but I know it is there. And so you can have the eggs migas, and I'll watch. And
Kevin, you just have to say migas. You don't have to say Ed migas. That makes us feel weird. It's just migas.
oh, like migas eggs. Got it. Oh, like migas omelet. Totally. I
Hey, you want? I'll tell you what. When we come to Chicago, I'm going to block off some time over the 5-day trip to come find you or get you where I am and make you the greatest omelet you've ever had.
Oh, that sounds outstanding. I'm down with that.
As a man that polished about 15 mini sandwiches, I am interested in that.
No, there's a place in Austin. What do you got there? Your 6th Street? Is that the one?
Well, now it's a complete war zone now, but it used to be fun.
Okay. All right, but there was a place there when it used to be fun that was there was like this green garlic chili fries, and it was I miss
Shady
it.
Grove or Chewy's or we can name everyone. We're not going to get very far.
I was like in this back patio eating on a little cardboard thing going, this is unbelievable. I want to come back for this. I went home and I tried to replicate it, and I'm like, I'm not even. This is stupid.
By the way, you are one of the greatest chefs I see at home on Facebook. This man is he's doing pizzas. He's doing all kinds of stuff. It's hard to hold your own with Kevin Reome on the food post.
You try.
I try, but it's it's like him and the kid. You know what I mean? It's
the Japanese people.
The Japanese improv students.
It's like exactly.
Well, this was so much fun, Kevin. It was so much meeting you. Thank you for spending some time with us. I see the sun has set on you over there.
By the way, best cinematography of Weirdos of ever goes to Kevin Reome, who had like Nolan lighting all night.
That was wonderful.
And we have plenty of that house, but there's just no good place right now.
Yeah.
Every area taken up by somebody or some. We are fostering 3 kittens right now.
Stay right there.
Sam heard about this. He actually, I think we were in the morning. I hadn't even gotten out of bed, and he rolled over with his phone and look at these kittens. He was so excited because they look just like our cat.
Oh.
I think he's trying to dig her out somewhere. But are y'all fostering, or you're going to keep any?
We're fostering.
Are they going to be alley cats? Oh, I think we froze him again.
Huh?
All right. Well, I think we may have lost him. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But we really appreciated having Kevin on tonight. We're going to go ahead and try to reach him afterwards. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back.
Kevin.
Milk is here now. And we will see